What's going on, y'all? It's the hillbilly himself, ish. For those of y'all who don't know, I'm Ismael Hernandez. Again, volunteer firefighter. So, this podcast is about me and my experience in the fire service. And there's a few things I want to talk about today. Specifically, I'll go over like what I did at training this past weekend, this Saturday. I will go over what are my equipment essentials. I mean specifically on my turnout gear, like what I carry and stuff like that. And then, yeah, I mean, hopefully I'll tune in and listen. Hopefully I get better at talking, because talking to myself at the camera is definitely not my strong suit, but hopefully I'll get better. And this might be a little shorter podcast, but why not? So I remember last time I kept saying that my nickname's Yo-Yo here at they nicknamed me Yo-Yo, veterans did, here at the fire department. They got a nickname for everybody, correct? And I know I've told you guys my nickname's Yo-Yo. If you listened in the last podcast, I said that I was going to explain. I don't think I ever did. So Yo-Yo, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, if you know, the older folks, you know, I guess they called a yo-yo slow, dumb, or if they called a person a yo-yo, that means you're slow, dumb, etc. How I got the name Yo-Yo, I don't know. Funny story, I think I might have had it before, but I didn't really hear it until went out to a grass fire. And I've gotten a lot better, by the way, before I say this, but went out to a grass fire and wore my hat. And I mean, when I'm talking about hat, I mean my ball cap. And it flew off my head once. You know, I lost it. I was like, well, I ain't gonna find it now. It's a goner. So we get to going. Go back to refill for water. Find it. Stop. Grab it. Okay. Then we're going. You know, we're fighting fire. Then little do you know, I lost it again. I mean, the winds were they weren't bad, terrible, but you know, when you're on the back of a truck and the wind's blowing a little bit, it's gonna fall off. So yeah, finally somebody else, it was me just in the back, you know, on the skid, fighting this fire, and somebody else, one of the older guys, hop on with me, and here we go again, get my hat, get to going, hat flew off again, and he said, oh, come on, Yo-Yo, or something along the lines of that. And so that's the first time I heard Yo-Yo, and when they come up with the nickname, it sticks to you. So I got Yo-Yo because I'm dumb, apparently. I don't think I'm that dumb, but you know, that's whatever. I know I'm not the brightest in some aspects of life, or, you know, definitely not book smart by any means. So yeah, Yo-Yo is my nickname because I'm dumb. So I want to go over what I did at Fire One this past Saturday, and it wasn't like it was anything crazy. It was, you know, different hose lays, you know, AAA, Minuteman, and your flat load. So we kind of went over those, and you kind of get to see what works best for really any department. I know over here at our department we do flat load, and me being new, I really haven't got to pull hose yet, but now that I'm a little bit more experienced, I think it's something that I can approach with confidence with, and hopefully, you know, just get into it. You know, I'm learning more and more every time I go to Firefighter One, and it's crazy. Them guys down there, they build your confidence up so high. I mean, and that's because they're hard on you, but at the same time, they want you to be one of the best firefighters that you possibly can be, you know, and that takes a lot of yourself to do. Like, you got to want to be the best too, right? So they push us really hard down there, but you know, we went over different hose loads and pulling hose, and then we messed around with what was called a scorpion load, and that was interesting. Pulled that off the ladder, how that worked. And you know, I think when it's pulling hose is the easy part, right? That's That's not hard, you know, flat load, whatever kind of load it is. It's really not that hard, but I think everybody dreads loading the hose, but that's just part of it. Reloading the hose, I guess I should say. After the fire. So yeah, got to mess around with the hoses, different types of nozzles. So that was definitely fun. Um got to mess around with the 6-gas monitor. So essentially we, you know, take it outside, get fresh air before we go into a scene where there's possible gases, hazardous gases, and you walk in there with meter. Of course, you have to be all geared up, SCBA, everything. You go in there, get a good monitor. So we did kind of a little scenario on that, and then we we uh we started off, you know, started a lawnmower and walked towards it. The exhaust started producing gas, so um yeah, it was interesting. That's what we did in fire training. We did throw some tarps around. Of course, doffing and donning and inspecting our gear. We went over that plenty of times. That's always that's one of the essentials right there. You got to be. So I guess they changed it, not for us specifically. We're the last class that'll be a minute for gear, and that's, you know, jacket, pants, boots, hood, helmet, gloves, and then the second part of it is another minute, and that's putting on your SCBA and on air before a minute. So hopefully this next episode I could bring my gear over and kind of demonstrate how that works for people who don't know what we get put through, and probably show you what I have in my turnouts right now, and hopefully I'll order what I want to get. It's not very much left really, but yeah, really, like, what I have in my gear is, like, or what I have now in my gear is, I have, of course, you have to have your structural gloves. So I got some department issued ones, but I did go ahead and purchase me some ragtop duty mitts, because when I went down to that forcible entry class, well, that's their department issued glove is ragtop, and I'll tell you what, after one of them let me try it on, it's them gloves are a whole different ballgame, man. They're the cream of the crop right there. They're definitely the gloves to buy if you're looking into buying new fire gloves. It ran me 150 bucks. I don't remember what shipping was, but you know, it's something I really wanted, and they look good. That's not the point of them. They do serve a purpose, but I think when you buy high quality stuff, it's always gonna look good, right? I mean, that's just how I think about it. So I bought me ragtop duty mitts, and then I did also buy me some working gloves. And when I mean working gloves, that's when I'm not messing with fire. So throwing fans, throwing ladders, extrication. I went ahead and bought me some leather gloves that I saw on TikTok. I was gonna buy me the ragtop leather gloves, or kangaroo leather gloves, whatever they are, but I was scrolling through TikTok, or no, maybe it was Instagram. Either or. I was scrolling and I saw these. I mean, they were bright red, so obnoxious, and they were leather. They're nothing special leather gloves, but they do have like a skeleton hand on them. And I was like, man, fire engine red and skeleton gloves. I was like, that looks sweet. So I'm gonna get them, and they're high quality. Those are by I think it's Slickman Welding, and it's a collaboration between Slickman Welding and Pearl Snap Pimps. So I ended up buying them. I have those in my turnouts in my pants pocket, and a car breaker, or car window breaker. I have one of those. Yeah, I got some working gloves. I want to get webbing. It's probably a good thing to have, especially, you know, pulling somebody out of a house, down firefighter out of a house. It's definitely good to have webbing. And I really think that's all I want for my fire gear. It's not too much. I mean, I got glove clips. That's also a door chalk, so those come in real handy. I just hang my structural gloves off my thing, just yank them out, and put them on, ready to go. Things that look nice, and I mean, mainly just because it's fast to get to. So that I want to get a new helmet. I don't want to pay the money for a new helmet, but maybe for a gift to myself, probably I'll buy myself a new helmet. I want to talk about the unexpected. I thought my pager was gonna go off earlier, just right now, and that's the thing. You could be in the middle of whatever, and have to just go. I mean, I touched on it maybe a lot, maybe a little in the last one, my last podcast, but you could be dead asleep in the middle of the night, and it's like you gotta get up and go, right? Yeah, the unexpected is tough. It's definitely, it can make sleeping really hard. So especially you have work the next day, you could. I mean, I've been lucky enough to have. I've had kind of my late calls. Probably midnight's the latest I've stayed out so far in doing this stuff. But going to sleep at midnight and then having to wake up the next morning, that's kind of tough. That's kind of tough on a body, and it kind of messes up your sleeping schedule. And then I'm not the type of person to take naps on when I get home off of work. So something about the daylight I just can't do. Sorry, I had to finish my Coke. I was dying of thirst. Anyways, yeah, it can mess up sleep schedules. So I guess the biggest question to my fellow firefighters or first responders out there: what's your sleep schedule like? When do you take naps? Especially you career people. I mean, how do you guys do it? That's something I'm curious to know. And I mean, everybody's different, but man, I want to know from everybody what's like. How do you do it? I know as volunteers, like you said, most of us have day jobs where we could be dead asleep, and it could be too. I mean, like I said, I've gotten lucky where the calls had that I had to be up for work the next morning. I probably wasn't out until midnight. Now that they're the weekends, obviously I've been out 2, 4 o'clock in the morning on a call, 3 o'clock in the morning on a call, and well, I got the whole next day to recoup and recover from that because I woke up late, was out there for a little while on scene, and then come back, and after you fill the truck up, depending on the fire, fill the truck back up with water, then you'll be out there for a while and come home. I'm the type of, I've been the type of person, like I said, I haven't really ran into anything super terrible yet, but I come home and the call kind of sticks with me, like it's, even if I'm tired as all get out, I can hop in bed after I get off a call, and I catch myself just sitting there looking at the ceiling thinking, or scrolling through social media for a little bit before I just pass out, right? I don't know if it's the adrenaline and the excitement, or maybe like the call kind of messed me up, but I still think about it when I get home. So yeah, I mean, I just curious about everybody's sleep schedule, how they do it, volunteer career. I mean, tell me how you do it. It's good to know. I also want to know. See, and I want to talk about this with real people, like on the other side of a camera, like on Zoom or something. I don't know, but I want to talk about like your department's issued gear. Like, what do you guys run? What's some things about your department that you like and you don't like? What do y'all think about y'all's equipment? Are y'all like fully comfortable with doing everything? I've heard the saying, um, if you know everything in that profession, then it's probably your time to quit or retire. Something about firefighting is you will never learn everything. It's always something new. You think you have it down until you don't. Like, you get on scene. I mean, this is some stuff that I heard even from my buddies down south. They said you think you got it all down, and before you know it, it changes. It changes quick. Your mind's blurry. So what are some good ways to approach that? I mean, how do you go about getting, I want to say again, tunnel vision, but without making mistakes? Because you could train as much as you can in the world, and I'm not saying the training is not good. The training is fantastic, it's amazing, but you could prepare for it, and before you know it, it's nothing like what you prepared for. So, um, it's different. It's a different ball game, man. It's hard to explain. It really is. Maybe there's some people out there that explain it better than I can, because you could train, you know, VEIS, interior attack, search and rescue, defensive attack, whatever, and it's always different. It's a different ball game. It really is. So I want to hear from my fellow first responders, and I want to hear why y'all do it. How did y'all come to the conclusion, like, hey, this is what I want to do? Like, this is why I want to join EMS. This is why I want to drive the fire service. This is why I want to do communications. This is why I want to do law enforcement. Even if you are not a first responder, if you have a job or something, like, why that job? Like, why do you want to do that? Do you want to do it? So I'd like to hear from everybody. Everybody's input's great to me. What wakes you up in the mornings? What gets you going? It's in this life now. You have to work to live. I mean, there's people out there that get paid minimum wage and are busting their butts off just to make a living, just to provide. And it's that day and age where, like, if you want the things you want, you got to go work for them. And that's just how it is. That's the way I see it. I want to talk a little bit about why hillbillies with hoses, why I named my podcast that. So I live in a rural community, like I said before, I'm pretty sure, with about 1,800 people here in southwest Kansas. And, if you're not working, if you're not farming, if you're not in the oil field, I mean, that's really what evolves around here for the most part. That's jobs that most people have around here. So really, we're in an isolated area. You get out of town and there's nothing but field. So, and that's why I named it Hillbillies with Hoses. We're as hick as can be, and I don't mean it to be offensive to anybody from, southwest Kansas, northwest Oklahoma. I don't mean it to be offensive at all whatsoever. It's just I'm a huge hillbilly. I work blue collar, so I would say I'm the biggest hillbilly of them all. Almost seems like, except I got all my teeth. I'm kidding. I do have all my teeth, but I'm not. I'm like kidding about the like hillbillies not having teeth, So, but I thought it was funny because, like I said, we're in a rural community. It's farm town out here. Cow town is what I say, and that's why I say we're hillbillies. Hillbillies with hoses, just a bunch of rednecks with the water gun. Yeah, that's why it's desolate area. There's not much to do out here. And I thought it was funny. I like putting a little humor into my stuff. So hillbillies with hoses, I was like, man, that's the perfect thing to name a podcast. So yeah, that's why we do it. That's why we did hillbillies with hoses. I did get some weights for my shop today, and I did order some stuff for the wall. That way we could transition back there and turn it around, and this wall looks pretty and kind of professional. For firefighters specifically, I want to know, what's your favorite thing to do? Like, do you like all of it? Is there some, like, especially for the career guys, like our medicals, like you're like, I really don't want to go to it, but you have to, obviously, or do you like extrication? Do you like fighting fire? Uh, what's your cream of the crop? What's your go-to? What do you think you're good at? Where could you improve? Those are all questions that I think every fighter should ask themselves. What are things that you can improve? Do you guys train enough? What are some fundraisers you guys do? I mean, put me through it. Put me through what y'all go through, and maybe someday we could talk about it together on a podcast, because eventually that's my goal, right? So we got to see a med crew land their plane right behind the fire station, so that was pretty sweet, and got some insights about that, how to lay out a landing zone for the flight crew. And it's for a helicopter, so my understanding, it's, four corners 100 foot apart, and you don't go towards the helicopter when unless the pilot tells you to, or they give you the go-to. So, because you could chop the top of your head off. I mean, them things go fast. So yeah, that was something a little cool, a little different that we did at fire training the other day. Got to talk to the medics. They told us how it worked for them and all that fun stuff. I want to get a helmet cam. Quick subject change, I know again. I want to get a helmet cam. We don't get much call volume around here, and hopefully my department allows it. But I think I would know when I can use it compared to when I can't use it. And not only that, but I want to put you through the eyes of the trainings I go through, like put you in my eyes, see how I roll and how I function, and maybe get some input from other people that go through the training and be like, what can you do better? Critique me, you know what I mean? I think we should all help each other in trying to be better, because we're out how to save lives, right? So yeah, wise words from me. I'm not wise, so I can't give wise words, but I try my best. And I'm going to say this: you could do everything right and it still won't work out. And I mean that for in life, but specifically in the fire training. My buddies down south had a lot this past weekend, sorry. And they did everything in their power. They did everything right, and it still went wrong. And that's just part of it. You can't save them all, and that's sad to say. You wish you could, but you can't. But you try, and that's why you train, and that's why you go over the stuff that you do. Try to be the best of your ability. Everybody's got it in them. Everybody's got that spark somewhere. You just need to find it. And once that flame is lit, the fire's going. So find that spark in you. But just know that, like I said, you could do everything right, and it don't work out. It don't. It's just the reality of it. If it's God's time, it's God's time. That's the way I see it. You just go with the flow. Do what you can do to the best of your ability. It all comes back down to that passion. Be passionate about it. Be wanting to save lives. Go into it full speed. Think. Of course, think. Don't put yourself in... Don't let stupidity take over, is what I'm trying to say. Think. You can be aggressive and still be thinking. Being aggressive doesn't have to mean... it doesn't have to have stupidity along with it. Like I said, you go to these trainings for a reason. We go to these trainings for a reason. Come back and be strong about it. Come back to your department and try to take the training that you got and show leadership in the things that you just trained for. I think even if you do step on toes, sometimes I think it's just, you have to, you know. I've never been that type of guy that I want to step on toes. But I really think people higher up or people that have been there for a while should have an open mind in hearing everybody's opinions or what they learned, what could possibly help, and stuff like that. I don't think you should shun the new guys out, especially if they're putting in effort. You know what I mean? One thing is, if they weren't putting in effort, then I understand, but you can't shut them out completely, because, or the ones, at least the ones that are putting in the work, like, don't shut them out. They might take something back to your department that is very useful, very helpful, and that'll save lives. So, with that being said, I hope y'all had a good weekend. I'm recording this, of course, on a Sunday, and I will put it out tomorrow. And next Sunday, I plan on bringing all my gear over here, and after Fire One training that Saturday, I'll be able to come back and tell you what I trained about. And if I get any exciting calls, y'all will hear from me. If I hear any fire stories from somewhere else, I would definitely come back and share my my knowledge, whatever I could get, whatever I could take in, I will share with you guys. And that's also along the lines of what I can and can't share. It just depends. If I think it's good for the podcast, I will share it. If I think it's not podcast, I wouldn't say not podcast worthy, but, you know, if I think it's a touchy subject, then I'll probably just put it off maybe for a while, or not even bring it up whatsoever. So yeah, I hope y'all had a good weekend. Y'all have a good week, and I will see you Sunday.